The target audience for this nutrition education session are employees at a solicitor's office in suburban Melbourne, and they are aged 22 to 70 years old. To assess the needs of the group for this session, 3 participants completed a questionnaire, and I met with another to further explore nutrition, dietary patterns, and factors influencing this. The needs assessment provided a lot of information to work with. Firstly, all participants agreed that health was important to them and that good nutrition is important for good health. There was a little more confusion surrounding what makes a healthy diet. Being time poor and needing fast and easy options were reported to have a large influence on food choices. And finally, the needs assessment revealed that a few group members drink more alcohol than is recommended for good health. With this information, it was decided that there would be 3 key areas of content. Firstly, to provide information about the foods we should be consuming in a healthy diet and why this kind of diet is good for health. Secondly, to provide the guidelines for alcohol intake and again, why these are in place. And finally, to explain the Health Star ratings and how they can be used as a tool to help make healthier choices. To support this, it was decided to use the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating and the Healthy Eating for Adults brochure, as they are based on the current Australian recommendations. A resource was also developed for this session as a summary page for the key content presented. These resources and a display showcasing the foods from each of the food groups were used to promote visual memory and also to keep the presentation engaging. On the day, the session began with a discussion about what the group wanted to get out of the session and what healthy eating means to them. Each session began by asking participants what they already knew about the topic to acknowledge their existing knowledge and beliefs. The Australian Guide to Healthy Eating was then introduced and further explanations about the food groups followed. Translating nutrient requirements to serves from the food groups and how those requirements varies between ages and sex was then explained. And to check their understanding, individuals were asked to categorise their usual food intake into the appropriate food group to get an idea of where they were currently and possibly help them to pick a goal to work towards. One individual had nothing in the fruit column and mentioned they would aim to eat at least 1 piece each day. Different members of the group then volunteered to fill a beer, wine or spirit glass to where they normally would with water. The recommended number of standard drinks were then explained with the reason for that number, and then the varying volumes of standard drinks were guessed and discussed. To finish this section, the group guessed how many standard drinks they had poured into each glass, and then this was measured to see how close they were. Many members of the group were unsure what the health stars represented and how to use them. A few voiced that they thought they were associated with the Heart Foundation tick, which was something they did not trust. This idea was clarified and the stars explained what they mean, how they're generated, and how to use them. The group was then given an opportunity to apply this knowledge by comparing products from the display and explaining why they thought a product was better or worse than another based off this rating. The group then came up with strategies to help them make healthier choices at work and when eating out. Some of these included having a fruit bowl at work, having a jar of nuts in the cupboard to have instead of muffins from the cafe, and opting for the unfried food when eating out. After a question and answer session, different members summarised out loud to the group what the session had taught them to ensure that all key content was understood well. They then completed a short evaluation survey. Since the presentation, my contact has been voluntarily informed by the group of different changes they have made to eat a healthy diet. These changes and their responses to the evaluation survey will be disseminated to them in a 6-week follow-up email. This will also be an opportunity to hear if these changes have had a lasting effect or if they have made any new changes.
Created using Powtoon.